Hey guys, welcome to Y&R Daily Update YouTube channel. Today's topics: should Y&R's Kyle and Audra give their relationship another shot? Fans sound off on a cadre reunion. Kyle and Audra can't stay out of each other's orbits. Kyle and Audra were once the Young and the Restless hottest pairing, but now they're enemies, intent on destroying each other. However, some fans believe their feud could be the catalyst for a reunion. Key takeaways: Kyle and Audra had an affair during his marriage to Summer. Their affair ended when they were working at Glissade. Since then, the two have become enemies. Their pent-up tension might lead to a romantic tryst. Love-hate relationship: Kyle Michael Mealer and Audra Zulica Silver first sent tongues wagging with their affair in 2023. At the time, Kyle was married to Summer Allison Lanier, and his affair led to their divorce. Kyle and Audra continued their rendezvous, but things went downhill when they began working together. The couple was appointed by Victor Eric Breton as co-CEOs of his new company Glissade. Everything was going fine at first, until Kyle threw Audra under the bus, causing her to lose her job. Since then, the two have been engaged in a heated rivalry. Audra tried to get revenge on Kyle by teaming with Victor to break up him and Claire Haley Aaron. Kyle managed to get the upper hand by exposing Audra and Victor's deal. However, Audra later succeeded in breaking up Kyle's relationship by telling Claire about her and Kyle's kiss. Kyle and Audra's feud shows no signs of slowing down as they continue to antagonize each other. While they make great enemies, some fans think they'd make a better couple. On a soap opera message board, Y&R fans think cadre should reunite. I saw sparks months ago when they were fighting almost daily. There is more afoot than most viewers realize, wrote one commenter. I believe that Audra and Kyle could work as a couple because both and ZS have chemistry, and it's a soap, so hatred could easily turn into love, wrote one viewer. However, not everyone is on the cadre train. Too much bad blood, wrote one fan. I don't really think they can work. But Audra and Noah, yes, declared one user. What's next for Audra and Kyle? A cadre reunion might not be out of the question. With Kyle officially ending his relationship with Claire, he's free and ready to mingle. When Audra learns of this, she won't resist using this to her advantage. She'll make her move on a newly single and lonely Kyle, who might be tempted by the seductress. But there could be a plot twist in Cadra's potential reunion. The main question is, what are Audra's and Kyle's motives? Is Audra going after Kyle for more revenge, or is she still in love with the Abbott heir? As for Kyle, one must wonder if getting close to Audra is part of his plan to expose her dark past in LA. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. In Genoa City, very few relationships ever truly die. They hibernate, breakups pause, resentments simmer, and unfinished business has a habit of resurfacing when characters least expect it. That's exactly why the Young and the Restless fans are once again debating a question many thought was settled. Should Kyle, Abbott, and Audra Charles give their relationship another shot? The mere suggestion of a cadre reunion has ignited passionate debate across the fandom. Some viewers see unresolved chemistry and wasted potential. Others see a toxic pairing that already proved it couldn't work. And then there are those who believe the time of all moments might actually make this pairing more compelling than ever. So is a Kyle and Audra reunion a smart move, a disastrous regression, or exactly the kind of messy, layered storytelling Y&R thrives on? Let's break down why fans are so divided and why the show may not be done with cadre just yet. The history: why Kyle and Audra ever worked at all. Kyle Abbott and Audra Charles were never meant to be a fairy tale couple. From the beginning, their connection was rooted in ambition, attraction, and mutual recognition. They saw each other. Kyle saw Audra's hunger, her intelligence, and her refusal to play small. Audra saw Kyle's privilege, insecurity, and need to prove he wasn't just Jack Abbott's son. That dynamic mattered. They weren't opposites, they were mirrors. And for a while, that made them electric. Chemistry was never the problem even. Fans who dislike the pairing often admit one thing: Kyle and Audra had undeniable chemistry. Their scenes crackled with tension, romantic, sexual, and competitive. They challenged each other in ways Kyle rarely experiences, especially in relationships where he holds more power or emotional leverage. Audra didn't pedestal Kyle. Kyle didn't underestimate Audra. That equality is rare on Y&R, and viewers noticed why the relationship fell apart. If chemistry wasn't the issue, what was? Simple: trust, ego, and incompatible goals. Audra wanted power and control in her professional life and refused to apologize for it. Kyle wanted loyalty and emotional transparency, struggled to offer the same. Their ambitions clashed. Their insecurities flared. and neither was willing to fully bend. Instead of growing together, they competed. Audra's reputation still haunts the relationship. One of the biggest arguments against a cadre reunion is Audra herself. Rather, how she's perceived. Audra has been positioned as manipulative, opportunistic, willing to burn bridges if it benefits her. To some fans, putting Kyle back with Audra feels like rewarding behavior the show has already condemned. Why should Kyle go backward, especially when Audra hasn't fully atoned? It's a fair question, but has Kyle really grown without her? On the flip side, fans critical of Kyle argue that he hasn't exactly evolved either. Kyle has repeated emotional patterns, struggled with accountability, leaned heavily on his Abbott safety net in many ways. Kyle is most interesting when he's uncomfortable, and Audra makes him uncomfortable. Without her, Kyle often slides back into familiar, less challenging dynamics. Timing matters. This timing is different. One reason the reunion debate feels louder now is because both characters are in different emotional spaces than they were before. Audra has been knocked down repeatedly. Kyle has lost certainty in his career, his relationships, and himself. They're not meeting from positions of dominance anymore. They're meeting from vulnerability. That changes everything. Fans who support a reunion say, let them do it right this time. Pro-cadre fans aren't asking for a rewind, they're asking for evolution. Their argument: Audra has paid consequences, has been humbled. Both characters have unfinished emotional business. A reunion now wouldn't be about ambition, it would be about honesty. And that's far more interesting. Fans who oppose it say, some lessons should stick. Anti-cadre fans see the potential reunion as lazy storytelling. Their concern: the show already proved this relationship doesn't work. Reuniting them undermines character growth. Audra needs a new dynamic, not a recycled one. To these viewers, moving forward means letting go, not circling back. The Claire factor, complicating everything. Any discussion of Kyle and Audra must acknowledge Claire. Audra's ongoing feud with Claire has intensified fan reactions to her character. Some see Audra as a necessary antagonist, others see her as dangerously unrepentant. If Kyle were to reunite with Audra now, it wouldn't happen in a vacuum, it would drag him into that conflict. Which raises the question, is Kyle strong enough to handle that storm? Kyle's pattern: attraction to chaos. Let's be honest, Kyle has a type. He's drawn to women who challenge his authority, exposes flaws, and make things easy. Fits that pattern perfectly. That doesn't make the relationship healthy, but it does make it psychologically consistent. And soaps thrive on consistency of character. Psychology: Audra's perspective, does she even want Kyle back? Another overlooked angle: what does Audra want? Audra doesn't pine. She doesn't chase closure. She moves forward, or appears to. If she were to revisit Kyle, it wouldn't be out of nostalgia. It would be because she sees unfinished business, she recognizes growth, or she believes this time could be different. That alone would signal character development. The risk: turning Audra into a plot device. Again, one legitimate concern fans raise is that a cadre reunion could reduce Audra to a tool for Kyle's story rather than honoring her agency. If this reunion happens, it must center Audra's perspective, acknowledge past mistakes on both sides, avoid framing her as the temptress or problem. Otherwise, it does more harm than good. What Y&R could do right this time: if the show chooses to revisit cadre, there are smart ways to do it. For example, a slow burn, not an instant reunion. Conversations about past failures, glossed over external pressure that forces them to work together before trusting each other. That kind of storytelling would justify the reunion. Why this debate is actually a good sign. The fact that fans are this divided means one thing: Kyle and Audra matter. Indifference kills soap pairings. Controversy fuels them. Whether fans love or hate the idea, they're invested, and that's valuable currency in daytime drama. The rinse take: the question isn't should they, it's how would it be written. From the rinse perspective, the idea of a cadre reunion isn't inherently good or bad. Its success depends entirely on execution. If written lazily, it's a regression. If written thoughtfully, it's a second-chance story rooted in growth rather than repetition. And Y&R has proven it can do either. Final thoughts: cadre as a test of Y&R's storytelling ambitions. Should Kyle and Audra give their relationship another shot? The answer isn't simple, and that's exactly why it works.